Everybody, it is Friday. Do you believe it? Oh my gosh, it is Friday, June the 10th. Time just marches on, doesn't it? I love it. Another day in paradise in beautiful Las Vegas. And we listed 182 homes yesterday. Wow. And we're selling 108 homes a day. So that's why we have 42 days of inventory. Yay. We're getting there. Gee, it'll soon be a month and a half. That'll be fantastic. Now, 66 of those 182 that we listed yesterday were 485,000 and under, which is the medium single family home price is 485. So that and under, we listed 66. And that gives us 1,215 single family homes available, which is now 32% of the active single family homes. So that is good news for everybody out there looking for homes and not. I think they were not seeing as many multiple offers, prices above lists, things like that as we were. We still are seeing some. Anyway, let's see, investors are still buying. You know what's interesting to me, and I had when someone asked me a question, then I have to do a little research. So I went back and I thought, they're saying, oh, the market is going to shift, yada, yada, yada. And it is a little bit. And that's all good. But one of the parts of the market that really isn't changing as far as the number of sales is the $999,999 and up. In other words, the $1 million homes. So I went and I thought, well, how have we been doing in the past with that market? And when I look at it, let's put this down. Hi, everybody. Yeah, so here's the $1 million sales, and I went back to 2017 by month. If you look at 2017 in June, or no, let's look at May. In May, we sold $48 million homes. And we ramped up a little bit in 2019. It was a pretty robust market, as you can see. And then in COVID, we went down to 35, cut it in half. But then in 2021, it jumped up to 149. Now, we can say, well, that was the COVID backlog, whatever. But look, in 2022, we continue to sell $1 million homes. In May, we sold 173, which is more than we've ever sold in the past 5 years in the month of May of $1 million homes. I'm not so sure where this market is headed. I know that we have 814 available homes on the market in that price range, $1 million and up, and that's about 16 to 17% of the market. But I swear to goodness, I don't see that changing. And I wish Jimmy were here this morning. Thought he might join me. He might still join us. We'll see. We have a class today, 10 to 1. So we'll see. Anyway, I would love his opinion because I don't think this is going to change as long as we continue to list the homes. And these $1 million buyers now have more of a variety than they did before, too. That's the other thing. Because the prices really didn't move much for a while. I mean, I know we bought our home in 2002. We went through the bump in 2006, 7, 8. And then it took a while for it to get back up. And when you're talking about $1 million home, you're talking about big, it takes a little bit, longer to get back up. But now I think that you're seeing equity because these homes are selling. So there's a lot of dynamics that go into the $1 million market. And one is, that, oh, there's Jimmy. Good. Want Jimmy's opinion. Hey, Jimmy. Where'd you go? Hey, there you are. Hi, Jimmy. I was just saying, I wish you were here. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
I had a broker ask me about, what my thoughts were on the $1 million market. And so I went and did a little research, and it doesn't seem to be slowing down at all. And a lot of that, I think, has to do with, I was saying, we bought our home in 2002, and it was still worth the same about 3 years ago. Thank God, went back up. Yeah. But I think it took longer for the $1 million homes to gain the momentum of the price appreciation. But I think now that it has, I think we have 814 on the market, which is 17% of the available homes on the market. We're still selling 5.5 a day. And I think that market is going to stay pretty solid because it has been kind of stagnant for a long time.
Well, we're a different town now with the Allegiant Stadium and the Raiders, and they're talking about bringing another stadium in for some baseball players, and just we're a different town now than we were 5 years ago. That Allegiant Stadium, the Raiders coming here changed everything, and it's irreversible.
Well, and I agree with that. And plus, we're building more. The builders are building $1 million homes now.
And I don't know any industry that could have been hit any worse than the gaming industry and the convention industry by COVID. That you took our two most dynamic forces in our economy, conventions and tourism, and they shut down the Strip, for goodness sakes. I mean, if you stop making cars, if you told Detroit, oh, we're just not going to make any cars anymore, Detroit would just wither up and blow away.
Well, that is such an excellent point. And to see the check mark on the charts, how we resounded back is amazing. And now we're making, the strips the casinos are setting records every month. More and more people are coming here. More and more people are seeing our lifestyle. And of course, the Raiders and the Aviators and the Golden Knights. I agree.
Did you see Kane photobombing me in the background here? There he is.
Oh. So anyway, these people were saying, oh, this market, it's going to change. And I don't see it.
Well, that market is probably the most insulated because they don't care if they're working or not. Their money is already set. They already have their money, and the economy's not going to make them have less money in that particular price range, I don't think.
Well, and if they were thinking of moving, so I've been in my house, and I on our street, maybe in the past 15 years, 2 or 3 houses, maybe 4 houses have sold. That's not a lot.
Right.
And 2 of them were because of illness, and 2 of them were just people were moving. But it's just a different market, and what you get, that price point of $1 million and up, you get a nice house.
So let's look at the dynamic that would actually cause that market to change. And it's birthdays.
Okay.
It's birthdays. As the people in that price range property, they decide, you know what, I want to move into a smaller house. I don't want this 4,800 square foot house anymore. I want to get 2,000 square feet in a really nice community. I think the lifestyle of that particular, they have the money. It's not a question of dollars and cents. It's a question of what makes them feel good about where they are. And at some point, I think they're going to get tired of having these great big houses. And I think we're going to start seeing some communities that are very, very exclusive. And they're not going to be 4,800 square foot houses. They're going to be 1,800 square foot houses and 2,300 square foot houses, but not 4,000, 5,000 square feet. I think there's a dynamic that's happening and going to happen in that market we're going to see it evolve over some time. But I think it's going to come. And if the builders are paying attention, I think they realize that generation is getting older. They don't want to do stairs at all. So,
well, what I heard you say is the builders are going to build a smaller home, but still let's use the word decadent, right?
Yeah.
It's not going to be a median priced home. It's going to be $1 million plus home with all the benefits and features that go into that type of a price range. That's a good point.
We'll see if the builders pick up on that.
I think that they should. I think that's an excellent idea. You should become a builder.
Right.
That's a niche. That's a niche.
It could be.
Jimmy, I don't know if you heard me, but there's 42 days of inventory. Yay.
Well, yeah. Isn't that more normal? Once we get around 60 days or so, that'll be like a normal market or closer to like 60 to 75 days.
They used to, I think across the United States, they used to say 5 to 6 months of inventory was normal, but I don't think it's been like that for a long, long time. I think 2 months is I think 2 months is good.
Yeah.
We did a pretty in-depth show yesterday with the directory. So today I wanted to keep it short and light, and I'd like to get to class on time. From my house to the office. So the item of value that Buffini has is really, I really like it because it's addressing today's market, which is the smart home trends. And now we even have that on our what is it, on the first page of the offer?
Yeah, it is on the first page.
And I don't remember exactly what it says, but don't you have to define all the smart devices or something like that?
There's a separate addendum. If you check that
Oh,
your home is a smart home, it says see attached addendum, and there's an addendum that spells out the stuff.
well, that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
So I'm going to post this in the group, and like what we do with our mailing is we send the item of value out every month with a letter and the comps for the neighborhood and so on and so forth. And a lot of times I don't like the item of value. I'll just be real blunt. So then I go back in the history and find something that I think is, more relevant to the market that we farm. But this, I think, should hit all markets. I think this is really good.
Yeah.
And it has, and then it says keeping your smart home secure. I really like this piece because that's like we say in Jack tells us in the risk reduction class. If you have a router and you Google your router will show up on a list with the username and passwords. And most of the time, if you don't change it, everybody has access to your router. I mean, that's pretty scary. So one of the biggest things people need to do is change the password on their router. And like Jack always says, if you don't know how to do it, get a 15-year-old to do it. They know
Right.
how.
Right.
Yeah. It's not that hard, but I mean, it's, and here's the thing that I find, and maybe you do too, but it's not that I'm afraid to do it. I want to make sure I do it right, because there's a lot of moving parts to these, to the technical things nowadays. And I don't want to mess it up and then I lose my internet.
Yeah.
So, anyway, any thoughts, Jimmy? That was it for me today.
Posting this in the group that's the best show you can give us, because here's all the resources. It's smart home resource. So, and whether they do anything with it or not, at least it's up there. And this is something that, like you said, you can send it to your database. This is a really good piece for them to use. Plan Farm Database.
Yes, and you can mail it, you can email it, and you can even text it, which is pretty cool. Yeah. And then Jimmy, we're going to have the advanced listing strategies class today, which one of my favorite classes, and it starts in 15 minutes.
No,
45 minutes.
You got time. Relax. You got time. You'll get it.
Yeah, right. It's 9:15, not 9:30. Yeah. So, and people can sign up until, right before the class. If you, if you just all of a sudden have some free time for the next 3 hours and you want to learn some relevant listing strategies, because Jimmy always brings us up to date with things. Great class. You get the required agency credits, 3 of them. And you get a free lunch if you come to the classroom. So just stop by. And
for those that can't make it, I'm going to talk about today specifically a shift in 3 months ago when somebody said, well, why would I pay you all this commission? My house is going to sell automatically. Now we have a different market, and that shift is important, because it was a challenge to demonstrate our value. Why should I get this much commission when it's going to sell in 2 hours? Well, now it's not selling in 2 hours. So now we have a different value proposition, and they can't just beat us up over that, how easy it is to sell a house, because now it's not.
Exactly. I brought this up the other day on Zillow now. They're following the guidelines from the DOJ, which says you have to show the buyer's commission, and there's a buyer's agent's commission, but they're not calling it buyer's agent's commission because they're calling it the buyer's referral. Because according to the DOJ, right, you can't pay someone to compete against you. So they have done their word salad on it, and they call it a referral.
Smart people.
Yes, and also what the loan companies, because the loan companies, they want to address the issue, and they have, by allowing the buyer to put the commission that they have to pay their agent into their closing costs. So those two, that's really the way of the future, I believe.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So, it's another change, but it's going to be okay.
Yeah. We'll figure it out.
We always do. Yeah. And we live in one of the best places to be in real estate. And that's That's my quote for the day.
All right, I'll see you at 10 o'clock.
See everybody. I love you all. Have a great weekend. And on my YouTube channel, I'm still posting my $1 million home of the day. So
Good for you.
I haven't gotten better yet, Jimmy, but I'm going to work on it this weekend. Maybe get some video tips in there.
Wait, is today Friday?
Yeah. Real estate agents work on Saturday and Sunday ever since I can remember. Oh, have a great day, everybody. We love you all.